Okay.
Welcome to Five for Talking, guys. This is Caps, and with my co-host Campos. How you doing, Campos?
I'm just here, doing what I do.
Sorry, I just took over your show.
It's
Go for
okay.
it,
We're
man.
here. Leafs edition.
There you
Intro by
go.
Caps. He's the guy, captain of the show. He doesn't say that he's the captain of the show for some reason when he intros himself, but
Yeah.
we'll fix that.
Sorry for the audio. I think the audio might have been a little too loud.
Well,
It's
good.
okay.
I hope they heard it because they're gonna
There you
hear
go, man.
across the country. Okay, so let's talk about the
Across the
Leafs.
world,
Okay,
because we're worldwide.
ambitious.
Hey, man.
Prestige worldwide. Okay. Let's talk about the Leafs. We haven't talked about the Leafs in a long time.
Let's. What do you do now, Campos? What do you do? Where do you go?
Well, you already know my thoughts.
First of all, actually, you know what? Before you answer that question, are you okay with the fact that they re-signed Spezza and Simmons?
Yes.
Are you okay with the fact that they re-signed Dermott, even though we know he's probably going to get picked up by Seattle?
Yes, because now after spending the entire day watching hundreds of hockey videos and podcasts for absolutely no reason, which inspired us to film tonight instead of next week, I think that signing of Dermott is for a reason. It's either to make sure that they can protect him for the draft and have a $1.5 million defenseman, or expose him in the draft because they'll be willing to take a guy who's under contract.
Okay. So you're okay with Spezza, you're okay with Simmons, right?
For the cost, yes. Do not re-sign Thornton. One thing I have to say to you, let's Dermott for a second though. Okay. I don't understand people's love of this guy. He's not good. Like, he's not bad, but he's not like, they keep talking about him like he's special, but he's not.
I think he's okay. You know what I mean? I don't think he's horrible. I think he's okay. But if you're going to ask me, like, am I going to miss the guy if he gets picked up by Seattle? Honestly, no.
I would rather have Kerfoot. And I think by protecting Dermott, you lose Kerfoot or Hall. And if you don't protect Dermott, you're going to lose Dermott 100%. They're going to take Dermott.
Yeah, I prefer that they don't take Hall. I think he's been playing very well with Muzzin, and they've, like, I hear this thing where without Muzzin, he's nothing. Okay, well, with Muzzin, he's something. So why not try and keep them together?
It's funny that you said that. I heard that about 7 or 8 different times today about the Muzzin thing.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, if you got two guys that are, like, if they could play well together, why not keep them together?
I mean,
you already have.
Maybe Dermott will play well with Hall.
Maybe.
With Muzzin. My bad. With Muzzin.
I think they tried that a couple of times, but I don't think it worked. Maybe the year before.
You don't really have another option because you do not want to have a Dermott / rookie Sandin or someone paired up on your fourth line. You know what? One of them has to go because Sandin is making the lineup this year. I do not care. Sandin is in the lineup, and it needs to happen. He needs to grow as a player, and he's not going to unless you give him a shot.
Yeah, let's just say hypothetically they sign Bogosian and they take Dermott. Sandin's still on the team.
Yeah, so then it's either going to be Sandin and Bogosian and Dermott and Thing, or Hall and Thing and Sandin and Bogosian. So
yeah. Do you sign Galchenyuk?
If it comes, what was his last contract? Do you know?
Oh, I don't remember, to be honest. I think it was like maybe just over
1.5.
1 point something, yeah.
If you can get him for $1 million, or you get him to buy into like fixing himself continuously for $700K or something, yes, I'm not paying you this more than what you're getting paid now. I'm not even paying you what you're getting paid now.
Yeah, I think we both agree that we try and sign Bogosian for.
Oh, you do.
Cheap.
You must bring back Bogosian.
I wouldn't even mind if he'll accept. I wouldn't mind giving him like a bit of a raise. Like, I don't mind.
If you can save money on Galchenyuk, you can spend money on.
Yeah.
On Bogosian.
Okay, let's work our way up to one of those other guys, which was, do you re-sign Hyman if he's asking for 4, 5, or 6?
I'm not even. What is he getting paid now? Do you know? I never looked it up.
2.5.
At 2.5, I will maximum pay you 2.75. If you're not willing to take that, you can take a walk because he will not. I don't like just harping on this because then it seems like I'm just a favorite and I have favorites and people I don't like. But I'm just observing hockey. Like I've watched almost every Leaf game this year, and I can tell you right now, Zach Hyman on another team that doesn't have, he's not on a line playing with star players like Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, doesn't even look half as good as he does on that team.
Okay. I'll try and be objective as much as I can.
Do it.
I respect the way he plays. He's very unique in comparison to a lot of the other guys on the team. He tries hard. He puts in a lot of effort. Campos, he has the right to ask for a lot of money. He does. He has every right. But mathematically, for the cap the Leafs have, it does not make sense for them to try and sign this guy for $4, $5, or $6 million.
I would rather spend that money on Kerfoot, if I'm being honest with you. I agree with you. And
it just doesn't.
And by unique, I understand what you mean that he can't skate. No, but what did you say? Sorry. That I'll go. Sorry. The reason he can ask for a raise, and I agree with you 100% that he can ask for a raise. His stats on a piece of paper and his will to go out there and just do what he does, he can ask for a raise. But the stats are fake. He's not creating his own points. He's cleaning up garbage and he's getting hand-fed points. And I'm not saying that to be negative to him. It's just true. He's not like a super skilled player. You can bring in somebody who's willing to dunk on people and go into the corners for cheaper than him, if that's what you want. And if you want someone that's going to score 20 garbage goals, you can go out and get another Wayne Simmons or another Alex Galchenyuk. Because
I just don't think a 40-point player warrants $4 million a year.
I agree. I agree. And that's my thought process. I'm not here to shame Zach Hyman, but I know he's going to ask for $5 million, and he's not worth $5 million. But Kyle Dubas is the type of guy that will pay you for your work and be like, "Oh, good job, guy. Here's $5 million." If they pay him more than $3 million, I'm going to be very upset. And no one's going to care that I'm upset, but I'll be upset.
I think we kind of touched on Anderson before, but let's just talk about it again. He's probably going to ask for $5 million, and it just does not make sense to re-sign him for $5 million. And I think he's 32 now. He's most likely he's going to start going on a bit of a decline, and it just does not make sense.
He's got 2 good years left, maybe 3 of like his highest caliber of hockey.
Yeah.
He's going to ask for $3 million. I mean, 3 years, $21 million. He's going to want $7 million a season. I think he's going to be willing to buy in. Like I said, if he goes to like a Pittsburgh or what was the other team I said? Colorado, I think he'll be willing to buy in on the chance that he really has a shot with this team to win a cup, to sign for like $5 million. But for the Leafs, he's going to want $7 million. The Leafs.
I think you and I know that it's debatable that he's going to have 2 good years, and the only reason why I say this is because he did not have a good year last year.
No,
he did not.
When he was good, but he was not as good as he was in the other seasons.
Yes. So it's once again, it's taking a risk in signing this guy, thinking that he's going to perform well. So you just don't know. You just don't know. And I think it would be better just trying to find a goalie that would able to play about 40 games. And then you got Campo that might be able to play 42 games. So they can share responsibility. And then by the time the playoffs start,
you can't afford to pay 2 goalies money if you're the Leafs. You need to have 1 starting goalie, 1 backup goalie, and then all rookies. That's like the kind of team you have to have. And the backup goalie you're going to get is going to be a Hutchinson type guy. You're not getting better than that. Because you're going to have to pay Campbell. and he's going to get at least you could probably not you're not going to pay him as much as you're paying Anderson, no way, but you're going to have to give him like $3 million, 3.5 million, and Anderson's going to ask the Leafs for like 7 million. There's no way he takes a friendly contract with them. He's already getting paid 5. He's getting paid like 5.5, isn't he?
Anderson?
Yeah.
I think you're correct, yeah.
It's like he's gonna ask for 7 million, and the only way he's gonna take a friendly contract is on a team that has a real shot. And the Leafs are not a team that has a real shot in most hockey people's minds because of how epically we've seen them fall apart.
Yeah, I just don't think he has the right to ask for 5. He can, but I just don't think he'll get it. All right, my question to you is, where do they go from here?
I think you need to. Everyone needs to turn off their homer hats, and we have to be willing to let Andersons and Hymans and the expansion draft let people go. I know you like them. It's okay. You're allowed to like them. But just because they're on the Leafs doesn't mean that they need to stay as a Leaf forever. Mm-hmm. Like, there's some people that just have to, you got to let them go. Kyle Dubas has to be like, you got to go, buddy. Because we need to free up cap. We need to do what's right. I'll tell you one thing I don't want to happen, and then I want your thoughts on what I just said, and then also what I'm going to tell you now. Do not sign Taylor Hall.
No.
Do not, under any circumstances, sign this guy who's played like 10 seasons and only showed up for like 3 of them.
I don't think he's the right fit, the right type of attitude that you want coming in.
He's more of what we have already.
It doesn't make any sense trying to pay this guy $7 million. Like, why? I don't get it. Yeah, sorry, I don't know. What else did you want to?
What do you think they should do? What's your thought process on it?
I think they should try and they should offer something to Foligno. I mean, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I think they should try and get Foligno in. I think he's a really good teammate. It was unfortunate that at the time of the trade he was injured. I didn't know that at the time, but it came out afterwards that he was injured. I think healthy, he can be a huge integral part of that team if healthy. Simmons too. It sucked that he had a wrist injury, but apparently it never really fully recovered. But with Foligno, me personally, if he's willing to accept, I would offer him no more than $4 million a year. It's a pay cut for him, but that's what I would offer him. 4.5 max.
Respectably, I agree with you. I think that I would give him 4.5 would be my willing offer, which is
if he's willing to accept. But
and I think you offer him $4.5 million for 2 seasons, and you let him play with Matthews and Marner, and he's exactly the type of guy you need.
Yeah,
he brings the winning with him, and like this attitude of no bullshit, and he's willing to grind like Zach Hyman, but he's way more talented. And he can slot in anywhere on your roster. He fits in perfectly on that line. And I think that's a guy I want. I fully agree with you, but I'm not paying at this point of his career and what he's showing, he's not worth $5 million.
No, I wouldn't. I think he was getting paid 6, if I remember.
But that was his big contract. That was
his big contract. Because I know he's about 32, 30. Is he 32?
And he's not bringing that. He hasn't brought that offensive firepower for like 4 seasons now.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
but my thing is, if I was Kyle Dubas, like, I would try and get some guys up, bring some guys up. Hopefully Nick Robertson's ready. He took a bit of a step back last year, in my opinion. It was unfortunate that he got injured. Like I mentioned before, there's a couple of guys on that team that on the Marlies that are like big and can bring some of the rough stuff. And
I would
don't understand why. I just don't I don't know why he does not bring them. But like it cannot always be about skill. It can't. Like
No, we've
We've
proven
seen
it.
that. Like you have
You
too
can see
much
it.
skill.
Look
It's
at
like you're gonna
how
get physically beaten.
look at what Montreal did to us and then proceeded to do to every team along the way, because it's not fully about skill. When they ran into Tampa Bay, what happened there, that the difference is Tampa Bay has a perfect mix of grit and skill.
Yeah.
Those little guys on Tampa Bay will absolutely punch you in the face.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, look what happened to when we faced Boston those couple of years. I mean,
yeah,
we got physically beaten down. So what I'm trying to say is if I was Kyle Dubas, I would really try and focus on bringing Foligno, Simmons type guys, type players,
yeah.
and mix them with the skill that the Leafs had. And hopefully, and I'm sorry, I got to say this, like as much as I really enjoyed him being here, you cannot bring guys in their 40s.
No, Joel Thornton, you can't come
You
back.
can't. I really enjoyed him being here, and I really liked some of the stuff that he brought to the table. But you can't do that. You really need to find some tough players that are in their late 20s, early 30s, and really try and bring this team together and really get this thing going. Because right now, and I'm going to say this, you only have a couple of years left, and that's it.
In my
Because
opinion, you have
Matthews
3.
is up. Matthews' contract is up soon, into a couple of years. Morgan Riley is up next year, and yes, and I hope that the cap goes up. I don't think it will, but I'm hoping that the cap will go up just a little bit.
It
And I
should
know
after
that
this year.
I really hope so. And I know that after this year, they're able to clear up $1.2 million because they are not paying Kessel anymore. So finally, that contract's done.
Well, the way that he looks right now, the way that after last season, all the criticisms and stuff on him, I don't know if any team's going to pay him anymore. So
Yeah.
the Leafs will
So
probably sign him. So good job, Kyle Dubas. But yeah, I totally agree with you. The only 40-year-old I want on my team is Jason Spezza. And
like what a teammate. Honest to God, what a teammate. Willing to take a pay cut, willing to take the hometown discount, whatever the hell it's called, and stay and play. And they gave him a $50,000 raise. I think
I mean, he's made his money in his career. I don't think that's what he wants anymore. He wants to win a cup, and he
he's
wants to
worth
win it
more.
here.
He's worth
definitely
more.
worth more. If you let Jason Spezza hit the open market, I promise you he'll get $3 million somewhere.
But the thing is, he does not want to go.
No, because he wants to stay
He
in,
wants to
in
stay.
Ontario. That's
He
why.
wants
Just
to
leave,
stay.
leave the guy.
I admire that. I mean, I admire that. You guys, they need to really get their together and try and win it for this guy because he clearly wants to win. Anyway, that's just me venting and getting my.
I mean, that's the lightest
up.
vent you've ever had. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
the
I'm pretty
last
calm right
episode
now.
you broke like a few windows.
I didn't have I didn't have my espresso.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I don't know. I think one big topic, the last thing I want to talk about here, and I think we should talk about it because we're going to talk about it 100 times this year, the Morgan Riley situation. Do you move Morgan Riley under the pretense that you're probably going to have to pay him a lot next year, and you can get something for him right now?
Yeah, I knew this was coming. That's a tough one to answer. Someone brought up this idea of doing a Dougie Hamilton, Morgan Riley straight up trade, and
I would take
so
it.
they proposed that. From what I understand, Dougie Hamilton is has rubbed people the wrong way. Just from what I hear, I don't know if it's rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. I heard that he's just he's not really a good teammate. So I don't know if I want to bring that kind of attitude to the dressing room. Oh man, that's a tough one. If he's willing to take the same contract, I would keep him. Sorry, am I boring you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So this is my thought process on that. Dougie Hamilton is not as talented offensively as Riley, but he's more structurally sound in terms of his gameplay offensively. He doesn't cause as many stupid turnovers, and he's a way better actual defenseman than Morgan Riley is. I know Leaf fans are going to say that's I'm wrong, but I get it. You're a Leaf fan. It makes sense. I understand. But I don't think if you look at the last 3 years, I don't care what you tell me. I don't care how many points he scored because that's not what you're supposed to do. Morgan Riley has negatively affected us on the defensive end more than anybody else in the last 3 seasons in the playoffs.
He's been consistent though. He's been consistently
he creates so many turnovers, unforced turnovers. It's mental. And so does Zach Hyman though. And I'm not going to fully blame everything on Morgan Riley here. But no. I'm not saying get rid of Morgan Riley, and I'm not saying he sucks, and I'm not saying I don't like him or he's not talented. I'm saying bring in somebody better than him.
I give him the benefit of the doubt, Campos, because he's been consistently there for them. I know he's quite a bit of turnovers, but he hasn't. Before this season, he never really had a good partner to work with.
And he doesn't seem to pair really well with anybody, though.
But he played very well last year with TJ Brody.
But I think Brody elevated his game, not the other way around.
That's how a partnership works.
One guy does everything, and the other guy just reaps the rewards.
But they both have different styles. But at the end of the day, I give Riley the benefit of the doubt because he's consistently been there through thick and thin, and he played on a team with a very, very thin defense. Like there was really nobody else but him.
So okay, I want to ask you a question,
except for maybe Ron Hainsey, but
that's too soon, man.
But I'm just saying, it's a tough one. It's definitely a tough question, and it's a tough one to answer.
I have one question left, and then I don't have any more questions.
You promise?
Yes, I absolutely promise. When this season ends, if you do not do anything with Morgan Riley, which I still won't bother me, I'm still going to be okay with Morgan Riley staying on this team. I think he's perfectly fine for us. But when next season rolls around and he wants $7 or $8.5 million, you're going to sign him? See what I mean? That's my point, right? Wouldn't you rather get rid of him now? He is going to ask upwards of $7.5 million.
I think so too. I just don't think mathematically they can do it. Should they? If they have the cap space, why not? But I don't think mathematically, I don't think they're able to sign him.
I think he needs to fit in on a team where their defensive core is all big, brooding defensemen with no offensive ability. That's where you need Morgan Riley. Not on a team that has all offensive defensemen. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's it. I don't have any more questions. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I got one more thing.
Okay.
Just to confirm, and I'm just saying it right now. I don't care what happened with the Leafs this season. Still friggin' Leafs fan, so I don't care what anybody says.
Oh yeah, what the hell?
And I just want to point that out, and I don't care, and I won't stop. So all those people out there that gave me shit about the Leafs this year, it was all fun, and I appreciate it, and it was cool. I'm still a freaking Leafs fan through thick and thin.
Listen,
I don't give a crap what anybody says.
I want to reverberate. Is that the word? Yeah, everything you said, and you're right. I'm gonna be a fan. I was super disappointed, and I called a lot of people screaming that night, including my dad, who probably didn't want to listen to me at 11:30 when he had to go to work, scream for an hour. But about Hart, and about 1967. But yeah, I'm still a Leafs fan, and I just want to, for the Montreal fans that razzed me all year, thank you for making me stronger, and enjoy not making the playoffs next year. That's all I have.
I hope they both make it, man.
I hope they do too.
I hope there's a rematch next year. I don't care.
I want a first round rematch. A first round rematch.
Yeah, you know what? There is one thing I want to point out.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I'm back because I this is something I wanted to mention before. I really hope Keith learns his lesson, and I really hope that he learns to adapt and actually coach.
Yeah, I was expecting that to be the word. Yeah.
Other than that, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys for watching, and enjoy.